Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I will show you basic informations about how to use loops, while and for in Matlab, and also how to use the if conditions to build a logic for your code. It will be a very short video, but the informations will be very useful for anyone who wants to learn programming in Matlab or other languages. Okay, so let's get started. I click new script, and this is an editor, and now I start to write my script. First, what needs to be done, what is good to do, is to make a comment. If you have a lot of programs, the comments are useful. They can be seen here, and they told you what is the script. It's very useful to save your time later when you work a lot with Matlab. Okay. Next, what we always do is write the comments like clear to clear my workspace. Now it's already clean, but if not, the comment will clear the workspace to avoid the problems if I have, for example, another old variables in my workspace that can be, for example, named the same like the variables in my code. But first I always need to clear my workspace. Okay. CLC, this clean the command line. It's also to avoid a mess. And the last command is a format of how much of digits after the comma are displayed. Short format is also to avoid too much mess. Okay, and for now we start the presentations. Okay, so the for loop is the loop which is used when we already know how many iterations will be needed. For example, if we need to perform an iteration for each element of a vector or a table. So for this reason we can define a table tab. Okay, and initially we will define it as the empty table, not exactly empty but full of zeros, and for this we use the zeros function. Okay, and now we define the shape of a table in this manner that first we give the number of rows, which will be 2, and the number of columns, which will be, for example, 10. Okay, and now I would like to perform an iteration of my for loop for each of the columns of this table. So how can I do it? In like this: for k equal 1 to max size of tab. And okay, and please note that I do not put here a step size, but I can do so. I can define the step size as 1 or as 2, for example, but if I don't define the step size, it will be a 1 by default. Okay, so this and this work exactly the same, but this value is a step size, step for this loop. So in this manner the loop will be performed 10 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on to 10. This is important to note that in Matlab the index starts from 1, not from 0 like it is in another languages like Python or C++. Okay, so now we can perform some simple operations for this tab. For example, I would like to write the value of k to my first row of the table in this manner that first row and the kth column will have the value of k itself. Nice. And for example, to the second row I would like to put maybe a double k. So second row, kth column, okay, and for example 2 times k. This is very simple expression, just for see how it works. Okay, so we have our table here, and this is, as we suppose, full of our values, k in this row and the 2 times k in the second row. Okay, so very simple. Now I will present the while loop. Okay, what I've done now is I made I divide my code for 2 sections. The sections are very useful in practice because we can test our code by starting it one by one. Okay, and the section can also have comments, which is also useful. Okay, so now while loop. Okay, I need some counter for my while loop, so I make, for example, I equal to 0. Okay, and I start my while loop. While, and now I need to provide a condition, and the while will be executed till the condition is true. So I make, for example, I less or equal to 20, and note that in this manner, like now, this loop will be endless. Why? Because the I is always 0, so this condition is always true, so it do not stop. For this reason, I need to increase the value of I in the loop. Okay, so I assign to the variable I the value of this variable, but I add 1, so I increase the value of I by 1 for each iteration of this loop. And we need to see the effect of this loop, so I use disp to display my value of I to the command line. Okay, so I started, and we have our results. Okay, and as you can see here, the I is now 21, so this condition is not true, and the while loop stops. Okay, quite simple. And now we would like to use some if instructions to make some logic here, just for presented you how it should be used. Okay, so if, and now I can make some conditions. For example, if I is less or equal to 10, and okay, disp I. So now the I will be displayed only if is lower or equal than 10. Okay, and note that I don't put this here, because if I do so, the while loop still will be endless. Why? Because the I will be increased only if this is true, so it will never be increased above 20, and in this manner the while will never stop. This is why I need to leave it here. Okay, also CLC, just to clean this command line before starting. Nice. And what we have? We have our results, but only to 10, as it was in these conditions. Okay, this condition also can be more complicated. For example, we can extend it for another conditions in like this. So I would like to have my I displayed when it is less than 10, and this is a logical AND, when I is also bigger or equal to 5, for example. And in this manner, I have my results only from 5 to 10. Okay. And for example, here I will present the else instruction. So else, a więc what should be done if this is not true. If this is not true, there will be executed some code which can be set in here. So for example, I would like to display some information out of range. Okay. And if I start it, what we have is out of range. Now we are in range, and then out of range. So the while loop has been executed for all i's from 0 to 20. Okay. And this condition was checked, and if the condition was true, then this instruction was executed, and it was when it was false, then this instruction was executed. Okay. We can also use a bit different syntax to provide another condition to be checked if this is not true. So if we have another condition, we just said else if, and now we can provide another condition. For example, like this. Okay. Okay, so I display some information for it. Okay. So for now, when I start it, what we can see in here. Okay. So if now this condition is checked first, and if it's true, then the values of I are displayed. Okay. Else if, which means then if this is not true, I check if this is true. And so if this is true, means the I is bigger than 15, which is here, this information is displayed. And for all other cases, which are here in else, this is why we don't have any conditions here, because this is done for all other cases, and for all other cases which are here and also here, this information is displayed. Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope it was useful for you, and if so, then give a thumbs up and subscribe my channel. See you soon in other videos when I will present using of data types in Matlab and defining the functions. So subscribe my channel and see you next video. Hi.